They have a symbol in the area of Vishuddhi. In the Gita, Sri Krishna has described the area as kshetra, and the one who knows the area is called as kshetradya. Dnya, yesterday I told you, Dnya Agya means the one to know on your central nervous system. So the one who is the knower of that area is the kshetradya. Today we are going to know about the Hamsa Chakra. That is the area of between the two eyebrows, brukutis, they are called. This one is placed at the base of the brain. Which is called as Muladhara. And this part is the complete controller of the whole of the base of the brain. Again I say base of the brain. And that is a part of the Vishuddhi still. Which is an extremely important center as far as the human awareness is concerned. Because these two nadis, Ida and Pingala, before entering into Agya and giving crossing each other, part of them crosses over this chakra of Hamsa. So when the ego and superego develop in our brain and cover our limbic area, from both the sides the strands which are coming out of the Vishuddhi sit on them. So they also control these two institutions from outside. For example, it crosses like this, goes up like that from Hamsa, and then some strands. Then the others go up again and cross like this and form ego and superego. So from the back side, on top of them, these two strands go and sit. You all know that Hamsa Chakra gives you discretion. But still we do not understand what do we mean by discretion? The first and the foremost important center within us is the Muladhara Chakra. If we do not have the proper discretion about Muladhara Chakra, we get into wilderness, I should say, or we open the doors of hell for ourselves. As you know that only the Ida Nadi starts from the Muladhara. That means is the desire, power of desire within us starts from Muladhara. But it's not the mental, which is the Pingala Nadi, which starts from Muladhara, it starts higher. So to have a complete understanding about which child is crying, please take away the child. Yesterday again same thing happened. Now this is indiscreet. Continuing with the child all the time. Yesterday was the same thing. Immediately you should take out the child. In the meeting any child is crying, immediately take out the child. There's something wrong with the child. Immediately take out the child. Again it is discretion. So one thing one has to know, that Muladhara Chakra cannot be controlled by our mental activity. But if you shift it to the mental activity, then the control over Muladhara is completely lost. Apart from whatever has happened in the West, Muladhara Chakra is all gone into the mental activity of human beings. It is so much discussed, talked, it is so much described, written down, so much read, so much put into our heads that it has become a mental activity. So Muladhara doesn't act spontaneously as it has to act. That's why there are problems that people cannot produce children. So many become impotent very early because it is used not by the power of desire but by mental activity. Shift. Now you see the light here. It's burning there because there is oil and there is a wick. It is burning. But instead of this oil, you put just water. Will it burn? It won't. Because water is not going to nourish this light. So the more mental activity you have, your Muladhara gets spoiled. and it becomes uncontrollable. But if it is left to your desire, so it becomes spontaneous. This is a fundamental principle that is missing in the Western thinking, I think. That whatever is spontaneous, they leave it to the mental activity. Wherever the mental activity is to be used, you should use mental activity, and wherever your desire and emotions are to be used, you must use your desire power. Also, it is spontaneous, though it should not be an obsession. Any obsession cannot be spontaneous. It just at a moment you have the desire. That's all. But all the time if this it's in your mind, that means you are using water to have the fire. Same about the Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana is for creativity. Anything you can create. You can create a sari, you can create a beautiful design, pattern, you can create a beautiful art or anything. But as soon as you put it on a mental level, it's finished. Also in the West, too much discussion is about the art. This is not art, that is not art, this should have been like this, that should have been like this. I mean, its creativity is spontaneous. Whatever the artist wants to produce, let him produce. Who are you to judge and criticize? You cannot appreciate anything unless it is brought to the mental level. So now, we have critics. And the artists are not spontaneous, they are afraid, they only think, what will the critics say? Even when I am writing the book, when I give it to some Sahajogis to read, they say, Mother, if you write like this, then they'll say like this. I said, let them say, who cares? So then, a critic should criticize and say this is not alright, this is not an art because this is such, this is such. So the artists are finishing, art is finishing. Now what is left are critics. So now they don't know what to do with their profession, so they are criticizing each other. So we have only critics criticizing each other. But there is no art now. What to criticize? And art has to be now made into money. So the critics must certify. It's so man-oriented, the whole programming of these critics is, that it is never an art. You know, they draw one line and say, now this is art, all right. If the critic says it's art, you have better accept it is an art. You know, what is so artistic about a life? Then again mental, it's a lonely person standing there, this, that. It should be spontaneous. Why to describe an art? So the mental level is so alert and is all the time trying to see things according to certain norms. All these norms are created about something so spontaneous like sex, like art, all bathroom culture is decided by the brain. Nothing is spontaneous. It's such a joke, I tell you. So people become artificial. Art becomes artificial. Your Muladhara becomes artificial. Because it's all now man-made. All the spontaneity is lost. If you see any art from any country, just watch. Why must you react to it? Just watch. As Sahajogis, you should just watch. And the whole thing will start flowing through. Now this Greek tragedy of romanticism, then the romance of Romeo and Juliet, all is imaginary, is all mental. There is no spontaneity in it. And then you are accept only relationships when there is artificiality, even between husband and wife. Like the husband must bring a flower every day to the wife, show her a flower, as if she's a priest or something. And the wife must, I don't know what they do, all artificialities. And then he must say thank you 10 times to her. And she must say sorry to him 100 times. I mean, they are husband and wife, left and right side of a chariot. And then the men expect this should happen. Women expect this should happen. Men expect the women should be like men, and women expect men should be like women. Men are very particular about time, women are not. So women must be very particular about time, otherwise they think she's the worst person they have ever known. And the woman is, say, more particular about her kitchen or maybe about her dress. So the man would get angry with her because she takes too much time to get ready. It's mutually so indiscreet that the relationship becomes absolutely absurd. There should be understanding that she is the left side and you are the right side, and both of you have to act according to your nature. On the contrary, you want to make somebody look so funny, because imagine a man becoming a woman and a woman becoming a man. You see, it's a joke. But that's what is happening. Whatever the men are supposed to do, they cannot do. Whatever women are supposed to do, they cannot do. Whatever the children are supposed to do, they do not do. For example, children in the West will go on asking, why? Who are they to ask why? What is their growth? What is their intelligence? What is their maturity? They cannot be treated like a judge sitting in the court. They are children. But when they come to Sahaja Yoga, they lose that discretion. First, before coming to Sahaja Yoga, the husband and wife quarrel all the time. Half steps are in the courts and half outside. After Sahaja Yoga, they cling to each other so much like glued together. It's impossible. So much so that for the wife's sake they will leave Sahaja. They ruin each other like that. They're glued together. Before Sahaja they neglect their children, don't bother. After Sahaja they are glued to their children. Then nobody can say a word against the child. The child can go and hit anyone, you cannot say anything. They ruin the child. So the discretion is lost completely in relationships. Whether it is sex, whether it is creativity, whether it is family, anything. That's the part of the Hamsa Chakra.